Get in the car.
Wait.
Now!
Have a seat.
Please, wait, I gotta breathe.
Okay,
Please, sir, let me breathe.
Sit down and breathe.
Let me breathe. I have a medical condition. We're gonna get air to you. Get your legs in. Get your legs in. We're closing this door. Sir. Get your legs in. I need air. Sir, please, call an ambulance. I'm asking for an ambulance. You got a medic coming. Get in the car.
Step out of your truck for me, sir. Are you armed now?
I'll be having a panic attack. I'm gonna have a panic attack. No, I'll be having panic attacks, bro. You need to relax. Okay.
Stand up and get in the fucking car.
Okay, all right.
Don't you fucking move. Get out. Lay down on the ground. Hey, get on my hair. Lay down on the ground. You get shot on my hair. Lay down on the ground.
Following threats, no shirt.
Lay down. Come over.
Why are you looking for me?
Flip over.
Why are you looking for me?
I got this man at gunpoint.
Why are you looking for me?
What happens when the hunters become the hunted? In today's video, we'll be looking at some of the most jaw-dropping encounters between local law enforcement and CIA agents. Get ready for a roller coaster ride through missteps and mishaps that turn ordinary traffic stops into headline-making drama. On July 7th, 2020, in Dublin, Ohio, Agent James Burke, who's been on the job for 16 years, was dispatched to a house on Edgebrook Drive to pick up a shotgun that wasn't allowed to be owned. The homeowner didn't let him in and called 911 instead. Burke knew the drill, so he just waited outside for the local cops to show up and clear things. But things didn't go as Burke expected. When the local officer, Joseph Fease, arrived, the situation got tense fast. The officer who came didn't start by asking questions or figuring things out. He just started barking orders at Burke to get on the ground. Being a federal agent and all, Burke didn't think he had to listen to a local cop like that. The cop accused Burke of not showing his ID when he first got there. Burke fired back, saying the cop didn't even ask for it. He stood his ground, and this turned everything into a big standoff.
Hey, turn around. Let me see your hands. Turn around. Let me see your hands. Okay, let me see your hands. I need to see some ID. Get on the ground. Get on the ground now. Get on the ground. Get on the ground now!
I'm a federal agent.
917-110-3.
I'm a federal agent.
Get on the ground!
10-3.
I'm a federal agent.
Why wouldn't you show me your ID when I got here? Don't move forward.
You didn't ask for it.
He is at 335.
Get on the ground. We'll figure it out.
Drive on that 10-8.
The cop said that they got a call that Burke was being shady and pretending to be someone he wasn't because Burke didn't show his ID right away. The officer got more worked up and kept telling Burke to get on the ground so he could check who he really was. Burke kept saying no, sticking to his point that he didn't have to get down just like that. The cop was making a pretty big deal out of something not that serious, if you ask me.
Not getting on the ground.
Well, then stay where you're at.
I'll stay where I'm at.
Fine. Why do you got to make this harder than it is?
Listen, I'm not getting on.
I have no problem making this.
I just want to see if anybody from 3 Precinct to respond as well.
You're the one who reacted.
I'm not overreacting. We got a call that someone's impersonating a police officer out here and doesn't have ID.
No kidding, because she doesn't want to open it.
Okay, get on the ground so I can find out who you are.
It ain't happening.
Okay, fine.
It ain't happening.
Burke was baffled by the cop's behavior. He tried hard to prove who he was to calm things down, but the officer wasn't having any of it and kept his gun aimed at Burke. Just when Burke thought things couldn't get any worse, another cop, Kevin Winchell, arrived and demanded Burke to lie face down on the ground immediately. Burke, under the intense pressure of guns pointed at him, finally gave in. He complied, but the cops didn't ease up.
Do you I think I'm a police officer or something? What the heck's the matter with you? Who do you think you are?
Chopper
Get on the ground!
I'm not getting on it.
Chopper things.
I'm not getting on
91-7, I'm pulling up.
it. I got my ID.
Do not reach for your waist! Keep your hands up!
Dude, why would I have an Olay?
Get your hands up!
Sir! Don't hurt him! Face down! On the ground! Face down! Now! Face down!
You guys are making a big mistake.
You are the one making a mistake!
Settle down! Face down! Now! All the way down! All the way!
They kept their guns on him for a tense 90 seconds before handcuffing him. Burke tried to get them to talk to him for 1 second, but the idiot cops were not having any of it. They kept yelling at him to get in the car. When Burke told them that he had a medical condition and he needed to breathe, they ignored his pleas. These cops were relentless, thinking he was just causing trouble. They kept asking him to stop resisting, even as Burke was clearly in distress and not resisting. Why were these stupid cops stuck on creating a scene?
Sir, I'm just trying to do my job.
Just get in the car! Why would you make us do this?
I didn't want you to. I wanted that. Wait.
No, you knew what you were doing.
Sir, calm down.
Relax.
Sir, Hey, guys, please, just talk to me for 1 second, please.
Get in the car.
No,
we'll
wait.
talk later.
Sir, wait.
You had your chance.
No, I was trying to give you my creds. You didn't let me show them to
Never
you.
once tried.
I did.
Get in the car.
Wait.
Now!
Have a seat. Please, wait, I gotta breathe.
Okay,
Please, sir, let me breathe.
sit down and breathe.
Let me breathe. I have a medical condition.
We're gonna get air to you. Get
No,
your legs
no.
in. Get your
Sir.
legs in. We're closing this door.
Sir,
Get your legs in.
I need air. Sir, please, call an ambulance. I'm asking for an
We
ambulance.
got a medic coming. Get in the car.
Sir, I don't need the medic. The taser didn't bother
You just said call an ambulance. We don't need
Yeah, now you don't want one. Get in the car.
in the car. Get all
Sir,
the way
I
in.
can't breathe.
I'll go around.
Wait, sir.
One of the cops even dared to tell Burke that if he was a real cop, he should be ashamed of himself for behaving this way. Burke protested that the cops wouldn't let him reach for his credentials. They even discussed how they were going to call his supervisor as soon as their sergeant got here.
Please, sir.
If you are a real police officer, you ought to be ashamed of
I
yourself.
was trying to give you my creds.
We got him in the car.
Copy, Devlin, at scene.
He might even be a real cop, but he wouldn't tell us,
everything
wouldn't
looks fine
do
here.
anything, wouldn't get on the ground. I mean, what the
The guy
heck?
with the cruiser will go ahead and clear.
You bet.
I don't believe they're looking for anybody else.
We had to taser him, so we got a medic coming.
Yeah, we canceled our units and now we're heard you
Well, that's what we thought, but then he wouldn't get in the car.
trying to get into his house.
If he is an actual police officer, he ought to be ashamed of himself.
I'm not. I'm trying to
You're not. You're right. You're not.
my creds.
Yeah. No, you screwed up. You bet. First thing he should have had his badges out when I got here. Wouldn't get on the ground, wouldn't comply with anything. Whenever the sergeant gets here, we'll call his supervisor. Yep, at this civilian. Dude, you saw how he was. He wouldn't comply.
It was a rough scene. Burke kept asking them just to check his ID. He was hyperventilating and panicking under the pressure. The cop admitted that Burke had a badge, but they didn't let up even after seeing it and confirming he was a federal agent. They continued to treat him like a criminal, even threatening to use a taser on him while he was down and clearly not a threat.
Yeah, we had to use the taser, just a drive stun.
Okay.
But he's got a medic. He says he's got some condition. He may even really be a police officer. He's got a badge, but he wouldn't do anything, wouldn't get on the ground. I told him over and over to get on the ground. He wouldn't comply with anything. We had to tase him. He fought with us the whole time. Wouldn't get in the car. If he is a real police officer.
Anything?
No, we're not.
Okay. Okay.
I do got him. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So his supervisor is going to need to come to scene. After the way he acted, it's all on video.
He's got a good looking badge. He's got a good looking badge.
He very well may be. But you know what? When a Columbus police officer, yeah.
Buddy, you're good. Don't worry about it.
I know.
Even after all this chaos, the cops still wouldn't rest. Seriously, don't they have other jobs to do? One of the cops went to investigate Burke's behavior by questioning the people in the house he was dispatched to. Can you believe how these dumb cops believed the word of someone who was in possession of an illegal weapon over an ATF agent? The lady claimed that when she refused to open the door, Burke kept knocking and threatened to stay put till evening.
Your officer's on the edge, bro. We were finally able to get
He said you have to open the door. I tell him, I'm sorry, I can't stay with my kids. My kids start crying because they are afraid. And I tell him,
Did he ever try and break the door or anything like that?
Yes, he is still knock and he say, I will stay here until evening if you don't open the door because you are liar.
Burke was released without any charges after about an hour in the car. The ordeal didn't end there for him, though. The incident had taken a severe toll on him, both physically and psychologically. It pushed him to shift from active field work to an administrative role within the ATF. The cops traumatized him so much that he was forced to make this decision. Feeling wronged and mistreated, Burke filed a civil lawsuit against the Columbus Police Department and the two officers involved, accusing them of excessive force and unlawful arrest. The United States court later ruled that the actions of the officers were indeed excessive and violated state law, as well as Burke's rights under the Fourth Amendment. Just when you thought it couldn't get crazier than this, the next case proves stupidity knows no limits. But before we move on, please hit that like button. On a tense weekend, Interstate 95 in Martin County, Florida, turned into a scene straight out of a high-stakes crime thriller. A motorist, later identified as Aaron Fedikovich, aged 35, from Ocala, unleashed terror as he drove north, firing at random vehicles. This left one driver critically injured with a gunshot wound to the abdomen and another vehicle riddled with bullet holes. The chaos began early Sunday morning. Emergency responders were called to a weigh station on I-95, where they found a 59-year-old man, a victim of Fedikovich's reckless gunfire. Despite the trauma, he was fortunate enough to receive prompt medical attention and was later released from St. Mary's Medical Center in West Palm Beach. As law enforcement tried to make sense of the events, they discovered discovered another chilling scene about 14 miles north. A Riviera Beach police officer came across what seemed to be a crash site.
Moments later, an off-duty Riviera Beach police officer pulls over as he sees a car that looked like it has crashed about 14 miles north.
There, Fedukovic emerged from the woods, wounded by what appeared to be a self-inflicted gunshot to his forearm. Fedukovic also informed the authorities that he had also discarded a gun in the bushes. Fedukovic's claims added a layer of intrigue to the case. He insisted that he was a CIA agent on a secret mission to prevent a mafia plot from Miami. According to him, his strange behavior was a defense against a mafia-controlled semi-truck that drove alongside him while he was driving to Jacksonville. He believed he was being targeted and claimed to have a tracking device implanted in his stomach. He started telling the cops that he needed to get back his gun to protect himself because the mafia was on the way.
No reason for it. It wasn't road rage.
Fedukovic was charged with aggravated battery, and his bond was set at $75,000. Additional charges are pending for the other damages he caused. The sheriff's office has also taken steps to prevent him from accessing firearms and arranged for a mental health check under Florida's Baker Act. Our next case involves a high-speed chasey that turns deadly over a miscommunication. You won't believe how quickly things go from bad to worse. In 2008, a shocking incident unfolded in Houston, Texas, involving Roland Carnaby, a Lebanese-American who claimed he was a CIA agent. This saga began when Carnaby was pulled over for speeding on State Highway 288. During the traffic stop, he told the officer he worked for the CIA, a claim the officer doubted. The situation escalated when the officer couldn't verify Carnaby's CIA affiliation using the equipment in his squad car. Complicating matters further, Carnaby hadn't informed the officer he was carrying a concealed weapon, which is a serious legal oversight in Texas. Faced with potential arrest, Carnaby panicked and decided to flee, leading to a high-speed chase that was recorded on dash cam. The pursuit was intense and long, lasting 50 minutes and reaching speeds of up to 120 miles per hour. The chase came to a dramatic end when Carnaby's car ran out of fuel, forcing him to stop.
Let's see ID again. Not every day you stop somebody from the CIA. I'm nice. Car plate. I've got one of our supervisors coming out to the scene right here. Can I get you to step out of your truck for me, sir? Step out of your truck for me. Step out of your truck for me, sir. Are you armed now? 97 pursuit. Drag that freeway.
Slowing way down, right here by the Flow Bio, just north of the Bio. Looks like they got him stopped. He's stopped now.
After Carnaby's car stopped, officers quickly surrounded it. They came up with their batons out and even broke the passenger side window to reach him. Carnaby then got out of his car, and as he bent down to pick up his dropped phone, a tense moment turned tragic. An officer, thinking Carnaby was going for a weapon, shot him. This incident threw the Houston police into turmoil. Carnaby lay bleeding on the ground for 12 long minutes before he was finally taken to the hospital. The police struggled with how to explain what had happened, as the shooting raised many questions and concerns about their actions. Gary Blankenship from the Houston Police Officers Union, HPOU, stated that they would fight against any disciplinary actions, firmly believing that the officers made the right calls under the circumstances. However, despite the union's support, the officer who fired the shot, Cecil Foster, was found to have breached standard police procedures and behavior, according to the Internal Affairs report. Nevertheless, the union promised to back the officers and help them challenge the findings of Internal Affairs. Carnaby's lawyer, Randall Randall Callanan wasn't convinced the shooting was necessary. He wanted to know why deadly force was used since Carnaby wasn't a felon, hadn't committed any serious crimes, and hadn't even pulled out a gun. Callanan also asked to videotape Carnaby's autopsy, but that request was denied. In fact, a gag order was placed on autopsy information, even though autopsy details in Houston are typically 100% open. He also suggested bringing in the Texas Rangers to investigate and the FBI to check for any tampering with evidence because the whole situation seemed odd, and he doubted that the full truth would never come out.
And of course, he knew he was doing nothing wrong, so at that point, he knew it was an unlawful arrest. The facts show it was an unlawful arrest, and since he is in the CIA, he needs to protect his information and his sources, and he fled.
Despite intense courtroom debates and strong opinions, Roland Carnaby's case was never resolved in public. It ended quietly with a settlement out of court, and the details of the agreement were kept secret. Officer Foster, the policeman who shot Roland, continued working at the Houston Police Department, leaving feelings of unresolved justice hanging in the air.
I think under every jurisdiction, the officers were justified in the action they took, however tragic it might be.
What's particularly striking in Roland Carnaby's story is the CIA's strong denial of any connection with him. The black Jeep SUV he drove was supposedly owned by the National Security Command Center, which was initially thought to be non-existent, but later turned out to be an NSA appendage in Maryland. Carnaby had led a group for former intelligence officers in Houston and had several plaques recognizing his service. He even had a book from a former CIA director with a personal note to it. YouTube algorithm thinks you will like this video the best. Watch and find out if it is right.